Welcome back to the video sessions online NEET classes Anand Medical Academy. Today in this video we are going to discuss about the female gametogenesis, nothing but oogenesis. Several events are there. Some events are different than the male gametogenesis. Exactly. In the female gametogenesis begins before her birth, whereas in the males the spermatogenesis begins at the puberty. So the time itself differs. Then let us see how process differ between them. Now, the events present in the oogenesis are multiplication, growth, maturation, and metamorphosis. The steps are same in the spermatogenesis also. In spermatogenesis also, first step is multiplication, second step is growth, third step is maturation, fourth step is metamorphosis. Here also steps are same. Inside each event, the process are different. Let us see. The wall of ovary, nothing but oogonium. It is also called primordium and it is also known as simply germinal epithelium. Cells are naturally simple cuboidal cells. These cells, under the action of follicle stimulating hormone, the follicles were developed and primary, secondary, tertiary follicles have happened. That already we seen in the folliculogenesis. This is oogenesis. The germinal epithelial cell undergo mitotic divisions and gives same type of cells because it's a mitosis. The germinal epithelial cell is diploid, so all the cells which is produced through the mitosis is diploid. Those cells are called oogonial cells. Oogonial cells, ploidy is haploidity or diploidity? You can see here diploid cells. So oogonial cells are coming through mitotic divisions. So many oogonial cells. Each oogonial cell undergo the cytoplasmogenesis. This already we have seen in the male gametogenesis, where primary spermatocyte comes to the growth. What happened in the growth? Cytoplasm increased. Here also cytoplasm increases. But noticeable thing here is the cytoplasmogenesis of the oogenesis, nothing but oocyte or ovum, a primary oocyte, is called vitellogenesis. Vitellogenesis, also called lecithogenesis. Vitello means yolk. Cytoplasm of the egg is called yolk. Development of yolk is called vitellogenesis. Genesis formation, vitello, yolk formation is called vitellogenesis or lecithogenesis. These two terms we should not use at the time of cytoplasmogenesis of sperm, nothing but spermatogenesis. These two terms are suitable terms for only cytoplasmogenesis of the primary oocyte. Whatever result of cytoplasmogenesis, yolk will be increases, then the size of the oogonial cell will increase. The bigger or grown oogonial cell is called primary oocyte. The primary oocyte size is various in different animals. Whereas in the man, 10 times compared to the oogonial, this is just 10 times. Whereas in the frog, it is about 200 times. Oogonial cells to primary oocyte, the size bigger 200 times than the oogonial cell. Whereas in some birds, 500 to 1000 times. Suppose if you take the ostrich egg is very bigger, largest egg of the animal kingdom. But in the world, ostrich egg, why that much size? Because the primary oocyte time it is multiplied 10,000 times. So lecithogenesis happened 10,000 times, then it's oogonial cell. That's why ostrich egg size is bigger than that. And the another that is what kiwi. The kiwi also. Kiwi is a national bird of New Zealand. Its egg is greater than its body. So these are the not related topics. As the situation demands, I told the primary oocyte is sometimes bigger than its oogonial cell. But one should remember that the primary oocyte is also diploid, just like oogonial cells. Till here, no doubts, right? Once the primary oocyte formed, this is also called meiocyte. Why? It can go and it undergoes meiosis. The cell which undergoes meiosis is called meiocyte. So this is ovum mother cell also. The primary oocyte is also called ovum mother cell. The primary spermatocyte is also called sperm mother cell. This is ovum mother cell. So this primary oocyte undergoes meiosis. As you know, meiosis is a two-step process, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So primary oocyte begin meiosis 1. Meiosis 1, what will be there? Interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. In prophase, there are 6 stages are there. Leptoty, zygote, pachyty, diploty, diapause. For all these steps, the oocyte has to across all the interphase, then it can go to prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. So what exactly happening here? When the primary oocyte enters meiosis 1, in the interphase, where in the interphase, diploty stage, it is arrested. Arrested means what? It is not moving forward. So the changes takes place inside the primary oocyte to complete the meiosis 1 was blocked. I repeat, primary oocyte enters to meiosis 1 to complete the meiosis 1. But unexpectedly, in the meiosis 1, inside the prophase 1, inside the diploting phase, the changes were ceased. So no further changes taken place. Reason? Because after prophase, what will be there? Metaphase. Metaphase promoting factors were absent. So such factors are lagged, so that in the diploting, primary oocyte was arrested. Clear? Now next question is how long? How long primary oocyte is arrested in diploting of prophase 1 of meiosis 1? When does it is arrested? Before birth. When does the primary oocyte completes its meiosis 1? Not meiosis, meiosis 1 will be completed in the female at the time of puberty. At the time of puberty, 10, 11, 12 years, the girl attains one by one the primary oocytes are every month they are completing the meiosis 1. That's why I have written here. Primary oocyte is arrested at diploty of prophase 1 of meiosis 1. Correct. Not any other stage. And this arrest will be released. Nothing but the seized things can be restarted. Means meiosis 1 will be completed. Meiosis 1 is completed at the time of puberty. That is called menarche, first menses. When a girl releases the first and the secondary oocyte, then the first menses are called menarche. The scenario is called puberty. From the puberty, every month, one secondary oocyte will be released, either right or left ovary. By the right or left ovary, not from both the ovaries. That may happen sometimes. Let us see in the further classes. It happens, what will happen. Clear? Now, the result of meiosis 1 is secondary oocyte. The result of meiosis 1 is secondary oocyte. Already at the time of graphene follicle, I told you. When primary oocyte becomes secondary oocyte, tertiary follicle becomes graphene follicle. Then because of the estrogen, LH will come and graphene follicle rupture, the secondary oocyte release. Released secondary oocyte is grabbed by fimbriae of the fallopian tube and it travels till ampulla isthmus junction. If the fertilized, zygote will form. So secondary oocyte is released. But if you observe clearly here, along with the secondary oocyte, another small cycle is formed. I will tell you, when primary spermatocyte in male gametogenesis, when primary spermatocyte undergoes meiosis 1, two secondary spermatocytes were happening. The ratio between primary spermatocyte and secondary spermatocyte is 1:2. Agreed? But not here. Here the ratio between primary oocyte and secondary oocyte is 1:1. Means one primary oocyte undergoes meiosis 1, one secondary oocyte comes. But another small polar body comes, polar site. It's also called polocyte. So polocyte is non-functional. Non-functional means it is not considered as secondary oocyte. So how many secondary oocytes are formed from one primary oocyte? One primary oocyte gives only one secondary oocyte. The ratio between primary oocyte and secondary oocyte is obviously 1:1. Whereas the spermatogenesis, the ratio between primary spermatocyte and secondary spermatocyte is 1:2. Recall it. Now, this secondary oocyte is the result of meiosis 1, not meiosis 2. It has to start meiosis 2. Now again another scenario. The secondary oocyte very rapidly it enters meiosis 2. Meiosis 2 is equal to mitosis, no doubt. But in meiosis 2 also, prophase 1, prophase 1, prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, telophase 2 will be there. So the secondary oocyte enters prophase 2, completed. Next step, metaphase 2. In metaphase 2 again it is arrested. Observe, primary oocyte is arrested in meiosis 1 at diploid phase, nothing but prophase 1. But secondary oocyte is arrested now at metaphase 2. Metaphase 2 means meiosis 1 or meiosis 2? Meiosis 2. So, primary oocyte is arrested in meiosis 1 of prophase 1. Secondary oocyte is arrested in meiosis 2 of which phase? Metaphase. Why? Next stage is anaphase. Anaphase promoting factors were absent. As anaphase promoting factors were absent, it cannot show the further changes. So it was ceased. All the reactions were ceased, and it was in pause. When it completes, if it not complete, then it cannot be turned into ovum. When it complete, already it is released. It was not there in the ovary. Have you understand? Secondary oocyte was not there in the ovary. It is released. Then how the further changes takes place? The only one chance is fertilization. When sperm meets the secondary oocyte, the secondary oocyte was arrested in metaphase 2 of meiosis 2, completes its meiosis 2 and becomes oocyte and ovum. I repeat, secondary oocyte which arrested in metaphase 2 of meiosis 2 will be finished its meiosis 2 completely after sperm touch. Nothing but fusion of sperm. Nothing but fertilization time. Instantly the oocyte and ovum will form. Ovum will become also zygote. These reactions again we will see at the time of fertilization very deeply. So here how many ovums are produced from secondary oocyte? Only one. As we discussed, the ratio between primary oocyte and secondary oocyte is 1:1. Secondary oocyte and oocyte and ovum also 1:1. But because here also meiosis 2 also just like meiosis 1 given one polar body and one big body. Why? Why two unequal cells are coming? Not equal. Whereas the spermatogenesis cells are equally divided. So cytoplasm is distributed. The cytoplasm distribution during that cell telophase is equally happening, so that two equal cells work out. Even though it is same pattern process, cytoplasmic distribution is unequal and the division is unequal. The division is unequal just like this. One bigger cell and one smaller cell are formed. Where in meiosis 1 or meiosis 2? In both. In oogenesis, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 both are unequal divisions. So that one large cell and one small cell has formed. The small cell is called polocyte, polar body. So when primary oocyte undergoes meiosis 1, meiosis 1 is unequal division. One large cell has formed, that is called secondary oocyte, and one small cell was formed, is called primary polar body. First time formed, that's it. Again, secondary oocyte undergone meiosis 2. Meiosis 2 is also unequal division. So, secondary oocyte undergoes meiosis 2 and gives by an unequal distribution, unequal division, which gives large cells called oocyte and ovum, and again small cell is called polar body. Polar body formed second time. That's why it is called secondary polar body. I understand. So here the steps are same. Inside every step there is a complication is there. That is why I said in the earlier of this session, female gametogenesis is much different than male gametogenesis. Events are same. What are the events? 4 events. First one is multiplication. Second step is growth. Third step is maturation. Fourth step is metamorphosis. But in primary in spermatogenesis, there are very simple steps, but here some are very crucial and complicated steps. Okay, once again I will tell you briefly. So multiplication, in multiplication mitotic division takes place with the oogonium. All oogonial cells are diploid, and oogonial cell, one of the oogonial cell undergoes the cytoplasmogenesis, nothing but vitellogenesis. We call it growth. Its size is bigger than that, and it is also diploid, and named as primary oocyte. Primary oocyte undergoes meiosis 1 to mature itself, but unexpectedly it was arrested in the diploid of prophase 1 of meiosis 1. When this arrest was completed, when that girl attains 11 or 12 years at the time of puberty, the arrested primary oocyte completes its meiosis, but that meiosis is unequal division, so that one large size cell called secondary oocyte is haploid, and one small cell called polycyte, which is non-functional, which is also haploid, forms. This is half of the meiosis. Then secondary oocyte, how many secondary oocytes? One secondary oocyte from one primary oocyte. That again began meiosis 2. Meiosis 2 also unequal division, result to one large size cell, one small size cell. A large size cell is called oocyte and ovum. When it is happened at the time of fertilization, it happens. Why? Because meiosis 2 also arrested at metaphase 2 of meiosis 2. It will be completed and becomes ovum when sperm touches to secondary oocyte. Clear? Now another polar body forms. So total 2 polar bodies are formed in oogenesis. Clear? Okay. In the conclusion, I would like to introduce 2 important terms of the oogenesis and female reproductive physiological process. Number 1 is menarche, and number 2 is menopause. Menarche, starting of ovulation, is called menarche. When does ovulation begin? When does the first ovulation takes place? When a girl attains 10 to 13 years, puberty, first time, second oocyte released from the either right or left ovary. The first ovulation is called menarche. How long in her life ovulation takes place every month? How long the ovulation takes place every month? Till 45 to 50 years. Why? Why not like males? It is continuous process. In males, spermatogenesis is continuous process after puberty till the death that we discussed in the last videos. But in females, oogenesis began before birth, and ovulation began at the puberty, and ovulation stops in the life about 45 to 50 years age. It ends. Why does it happen? See the detailed calculation. The stoppage of ovulation is called menopause. Stoppage of ovulation in a woman is called menopause. So between menarche to menopause, this period is called fertile period. Fertile period in a woman, 13 years to 50 years is called fertile period, during which every month she releases the secondary oocyte. It may fuse with the sperm. If the sperm enters in a particular time, then fertilization takes place, leads to pregnancy. Perhaps not. My question is, after 15 years, why not oogenesis takes place? In front of you, there is a question. What is that? Read. How long she can exhibit ovulation? It does mean, what does it mean? It means, in female, how long ovulation takes place? After puberty, ovulation begins, everyone knows. Till how long? I said that 50 years till. After that, why not? Let us see. Suppose at puberty, she had 60,000 to 80,000 per ovary. Means in female, how many ovaries are there? 2. Means into 2 is equal to 1,20,000 to 1,60,000 of follicles are present at the time of puberty from both the ovaries in a girl. Now, at puberty, first ovulation happened. First ovulation happened. First ovulation happened means one secondary oocyte. One secondary oocyte released. By one ovulation, one secondary oocyte is released. One secondary oocyte is released means how many follicles were ruptured? Only one. That is Graafian follicle. Same primary follicle becomes same secondary follicle. The secondary follicle that itself become tertiary, that itself become Graafian. Inside Graafian, secondary oocyte is there. Once Graafian rupture, the secondary oocyte comes. So number of secondary oocytes released is equal to number of follicle rupture. I repeat, number of secondary oocytes released is equal to number of follicles ruptured. So at the puberty, they have 1,60,000 of follicles maximum number. In that, one follicle has grown and matured and ruptured release secondary oocyte. Now, how long she can ovulate? She can ovulate till menopause. See, till menopause. Menopause means what? Last ovulation. Suppose puberty had happened at 10th age. Means she was at 10 years. Age of 10 years in a girl, puberty happened. At the first month, just assume it is a January for our accuracy results. 10th year of that January, the first ovulation happened. Till 11th, when she attains her 11th year, then how many months happened? 1 year means 12 months. Means how many ovulations takes place? For 1 month, 1 ovulation. Means 12 months, 12 ovulation. So here, for 1 year, 12 ovulations. So how many years are there between puberty? Nothing but menarche. Puberty means what? Menarche. The years existing between menarche to menopause. How many years? This is the 10th year. This is the 50th year. Between 10th year to 50th year, how many years are there? 10 to 50, 40 years are there. Every month, either right ovary or left ovary, one secondary oocyte is produced, nothing but ovum. Suppose in the month of January, suppose not month of January every time right ovary is produced, it's wrong. I am taking an assumption here. In the month of January, right ovary produced the secondary oocyte. In February, right ovary could not produce. It is undergoing the changes. In the February month, ovulation happened from the left side ovary. Understand? And in March, left side ovary under the rest, and in April, right ovary. Like that, ovaries are sharing the year by 2. But number of ovaries are 12. By each ovary, number of ovulations per year is 6. But because alternate, every ovulation takes place from each ovary is alternatively. So that together is called 12 means each ovary how many ovulations per year? 6. But here point is, my question is very clear, listen carefully. How many ovulations takes place per year? Sorry, per month? 1. Per year? 12. Clear? Then how many years are there between the puberty and menopause? Nothing but menarche and menopause, 40 years. Then 40 into 12. Nearly 480 ovulations. She can do 480 ovulations in her life after puberty to menopause. After 480 ovulations means how many secondary oocytes? 480 secondary oocytes. 480 secondary oocytes means how many Graafian follicles? 480 Graafian follicles. So 480 primary follicles matured into 480 Graafian follicles. 480 Graafian follicles, 480 times rupture. Each one per month, then 480 ovulations takes place. At the time of puberty, how many are there? 1,60,000. How many she can give? Nearly 480 to 500. Sometimes 2 ovaries may participate in the ovulation. Sometimes. So that it will increase. 480 to 500 ovulations. Later, what happens? The medulla is completely, means every time 480 ovulations means not 480 fertilizations. Not every time second oocyte fused with the sperm. Maybe once or twice. So what are the rest of grafting follicles? They become corpus luteum. Corpus luteum becomes corpus hemorrhage. Corpus hemorrhage becomes corpus albicans. The albicans go and occupy the place of medulla. The medulla size is increased. See here. This medulla size is increased due to the accumulation of corpus albicans, and in the final stage, this is what? Medulla. This is what? Cortex. So the follicles present in the cortex were degenerated, and there is no place for growth, there is no hormones for growth, there is no cooperation and promotional activities in the cortex. So that rest of, except 500 follicles, rest of all follicles will be degenerated. Everyone degenerated. So she can give only 480 to 500 ovulations in her life. In that, 1 or 2 or 3 fertilization stages leads to birth. This is how we have to solve the questions analytically.